Good morning. So this is my first day back working after being on vacation for about 11 days, 10, 11 days. And it's a little bit difficult because I remember just being really, really happy when I was on vacation. And I remember not feeling the same way I feel about certain things about Chicago and people and all this stuff. But it's funny because I went to sleep last night at like 2:30. I was up talking to somebody really late. I woke up this morning at I've been having trouble going to sleep. I've been waking up at like 5 a.m. or if I go to sleep earlier, I'll wake up at like 3. But I woke up this morning at like 7. I wasn't really tired and I woke up at 7:30 and I felt kind of rested. So I'm very, very grateful for that. I want to talk to you all about simplicity in life. I was having this discussion with my roommate and we have these wonderful discussions about the problems we see in the world and poverty and how American poverty is not as bad as like poverty in other countries, but yet poverty is still existent and then people are still poor. So what do you do about that? And people who are desensitized to seeing the needs of others and they walk just right past people that are in need or that are hungry. And I feel really passionate about that in the sense of like what we came to the conclusion, what we both agree on is that what we're fighting against right now, the fight for humanity, is the fight for empathy, the fight for feeling something for somebody that's suffering that might not be directly related to you, but that is your, distant brother in need. And we also were talking about the war in Kashmir and how India and Pakistan are fighting with each other and the war of Muslims against Hindus. And then I was talking to her about Christians and how they feel the need to impose a lot of their lifestyle on other people. And I just think it's really sad because, the point that my roommate brought up is that Turkey, New York City, I don't know what that means. I have notifications that come up on my phone because I always record on my phone. I just think it's sad that we have become so obsessed with the complexity of life. What my roommate and I were talking about was how much we both kind of envy the people who had a very simple life years ago, which, yes, it was a lot harder and there were different things to be concerned about, but the simplicity of life in the sense that people didn't care about technology as much and like clothing, and jobs were a lot easier in the sense that labor jobs, not like technology taking over and kicking people out of the workforce, and like what you see with Amazon, what's happening with Amazon, how people are losing their jobs, and how I believe in a few years Amazon's going to just have taken over a lot of things, and a lot of people are going to be out of jobs. And we're talking about the people in the mountains that may not be very educated, but that live a very simple life and don't think about the things that we think about because they're very far off from this world. And I envy that because I think that the innocence of life is found in the simplicity of life, but I also feel that some of the keys to life are found in the simplicity of life. And I've gotten rid of a lot of things in my life recently that have in the past held a very important place in my heart and in my life. But I did that because I needed to purge myself of things that were more complex than they needed to be. And I got back in tune with the kind of life that I wanted instead of the life that I thought I deserved, the kind of life that I thought that I was supposed to have. I know that having jewelry, clothing, what are some other things that we like? Cell phones, laptops, all those things can be very beneficial, and you can have them in amounts. I think that you shouldn't have too much of that because then it becomes an addiction, because then it's like, when is it too much? See, I have only a few pieces that I wear. I have like this, which says live life. It says live, love, laugh. And then I have like this mood ring and like these little things here. But these were cheap trinkets. Like, I don't think I paid like $3 for this, or maybe nine. No, I paid like $9 for this one because it has a specific brand. And then for these little bracelets that I have an anklet one too. I only paid $2 for these, and for this one on my, which is like a compass right here, north, south, east, west, right there. I don't know if you can see that, but might be too close. But yeah, and then I also have another one that goes around my neck, and I have a few other things. But I don't have a whole bunch of jewelry, and I think it's fine to have things that you like. But I do think that the excess of life, the need for more, the greed, the never having enough, you know, it's too much, I think, and it's killing our world, it's killing our nation, it's killing the ozone layer, it's killing the environment. I mean, it's sad that we have wanted so much. You know, we've extracted so much from, I could talk about the environment for a long time, but we've extracted so much from our environment. You know, studies show that life may not be sustainable in the next 30 years to find energy for the environment. I don't know if that's completely accurate, but I can believe it based on how much we are negatively affecting the world and the planet. And you see this in the temperature changes and how winters are not consistent, summers are too hot or too cold, and in especially these mudslides that you see, you know, in California. And there's a lot that I can talk about here, but mostly I want to address the fact that, you know, what my roommate and I got into last night was, how do you get people to not think about the excess of life? How do you get people to think about more than just money and greed and all those different things? And I don't know if there's a divine answer there, because I do believe that there has to be something higher than self that allows people to reframe their thinking and get back to the simplicity of life, where everyone is equal, where people are all giving a chance, where everyone's welcome at the table, where we don't disperse funds to only an aristocracy, and also like a dictator. But I don't know how to get back there. And I was watching the Democratic debate in Florida. Well, it didn't happen in Florida. I was watching it on TV in Florida, but it happened in Detroit. And I was very dissatisfied with what I saw, because all I saw were people like fighting, you know, just fighting. And I know that's a debate, but it wasn't civilized to me. And I thought to myself, is this what life should be like? I mean, really, when it comes down to it, yes, there are differences in politics and differences in policies and the ways that these leaders and these candidates want to run the country. But when it comes to the betterment of humanity, it's really simple. It's about making sure that everybody has health care, food on the table, enough to living wages to provide for themselves, a house over their head, you know, little things that they might need on top of that, mental illness services, but that all falls under health care. What's happening in our world now is that there's this imbalance where some people are on top, some are on the bottom. Some people are on top and everyone else is on the bottom. That's really how I see it. Like, if you're on the top, very top, everyone else is underneath you. And it shouldn't be like that. But life has become so complex. I mean, another thing that I want to talk about is relationships. I'm not against polyamory and non-monogamy when done correctly. I'm against, and I am for, not against, I am for everybody being given a chance to have a relationship that is satisfying. And when I was talking to two of my, one of my friends, and the other one is, you know, someone I associate with now, I was talking to them about, on this trip that we were going to, about sexual survival in terms of like how people are sexually satisfied, and how some people are more fit to procreate because of the genes they've been given, or what they look like, or their nature, or their build, and so that makes them more marketable in a sense to the opposite gender. But then I think about people who are in these open relationships and polyamorous relationships and all these different things that are not doing it they're doing it to like to have as many people as they can, it makes me sad, because then those people who are not able to, who don't have those features that are seen as ideal, or that are seen as the most attractive, they automatically are pushed aside, and then these people who are more attractive can get more people to be on their side. And then that's why I kind of believe in coupling, because I think that everyone needs sex and everyone needs community, and the best ways to do that is through coupling, to find someone to couple with. But also I'm conflicted on that, because I believe in non-monogamy in some ways, in many ways actually, and in the generalization, I want to say, of non-monogamy and polyamory and all those different things. And that's another conversation that I'm not ready to have yet here. But yeah, going back to that, even in relationships, people have chosen complexity over simplicity, and wanting more and more and more and more, and never being satisfied with just a small community of stuff, of things, of a small community of people, wanting to be around everybody, wanting to be involved in everything, blah, 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 blah. And what does that really bring you at the end of life? What does that really bring you? Even extroverts have so many people. Sometimes they look like they're okay, and then they go home and they're like drained, because they haven't invested their time emotionally. Not all, but many extroverts have this problem where they get home and they're drained, and they feel like they still don't have anybody. And so that's when I think about this, I come back to life should be, I'm at the Berwyn Red Line stop, I'm at the Jewel that's right here, but life should be complex, and life should be simple and not as complex, because the simple life really is the better life for self and for humanity. And I just think that in everything that I do, like I want to sing badly, yes, and I also feel the call to starting a community of faith, where is being a part of a community of faith where the faith is advocating for having faith in the betterment of humanity, and advocating for everybody to be equal, and to give services and love and care to everybody for that cause of the faith of humanity, the faith in humanity. And so I feel conflicted in both. And if I ever made a lot of money, I thought about this from when I was younger, if I ever made a lot of money singing, I would always give back to people in the ways that I can, because that's all that life is for. I see all these celebrities and people with lots of money, and I don't understand how they have so much money. As much as I love celebrities and they're great, so I don't know them personally, but I'm talking about like specifically musicians and how I love their music and all that stuff. I don't understand how they have so much money. But anyways, that's another conversation. But simplicity in life is something that I really want for myself, and I'm trying to promote that for other people, and for the communities around me, because it's very important. And I think that everybody should strive to have some sort of simplicity in their life, and some sort of normalcy in their life, because you'll never have enough if you keep thinking that you need more. And the simple life is being content with what you have, and being okay with there being variations on that. And if something else comes to you, that's great, which is why I like nannying, which is why I like what I'm doing now, because I realize that I've known this for a very long time, that people having these big jobs where they are in corporations as CEOs, that's a great thing. But when I listened to this video that talked about career paths, and if you enjoy your career, the video challenged me to say, look at the CEO of your company, look at the CEO of different companies, and see if you want to be that person 10 or 20, 30 years. When I thought about that, I was like, I don't want to be like these people. And that's why I enjoy nannying, because I'm with a really good family. They pay me enough for my bills. I have time to go to school if I want to. I mean, they're very nice people, and it's just a very simple job, and that's what I need right now. And I have time to do other things. So it's like, what more do I need right now? I'm single. I don't have kids. I think that I'm, in a good space mentally and physically. So, yeah, but anyways, I think that this is the kind of life that we should strive to have. So anyways, I hope that you all have a good day. I'm going to go and do some shopping. Bye.